Andrea, I'm so excited that you're on the show today. Welcome.
Oh, thank you so much for having me.
We were talking a little bit before the mics went on, but I read your book and I really felt like I got a sense of who you are. Very optimistic, very kind, very wanting to be of service, resilient, ambitious, and confident. Can I say? I think that I got that too from the book, and I love that. And I'm so excited to dive into what you've taught in the book. And I really enjoyed, like, I was like, oh, what's the next habit? Like, there's 7 habits. I couldn't wait to get to the next one. So
I
much
love
of
hearing
it.
that.
Yeah. Even if it's some of it, you even say at the end, even if some of this is stuff, so helpful to have it in like a list form.
Isn't that the case? Like a lot of these things are not rocket science, but to have them as a go-to toolkit, we
Totally.
all need that. We all need that cheat sheet. Like, tell me what to do and how it's going to work and how I can do it quickly and effectively and how is it sustainable? Okay, go. So,
And go.
exactly. And go.
Exactly. No, totally. Because I was trying to lose a few pounds perimenopausal weight, just like around the
hmm
midsection.
hmm
And a friend gave me a program and it took all the thinking out, which allowed me to do it. And I felt
Yes.
like your book is this. It's like, let me make it so easy that
Yes.
your 30 minutes, you don't have to think about it. Just get up and number one, start breathing. Right?
Exactly, exactly, exactly. And things that we're already doing but not with intention, or things that we could be doing very simply, right, with a little bit more intention. And it's exactly what you just said. It's like you just need someone to hold your hand. And that was my
Yes.
goal when I wrote this book. I said, I want this book to be bedside or in their bag. I want it to be highlighted. I want the pages to be turned over. I want them to like grab that when they need that moment of reprieve during the day when we just feel like we are trying to get through the day and not
Yes.
actually doing the day the way we want to do it. I want
Yes.
that book to be that go-to and simple and easy and a quick read, but sustainable. I think everything these days is all or nothing. And so I wanted this book to be an easy guide to get to where you want to go.
And you've done it. And sometimes it can be overwhelming, especially when it comes to advice on like living your best life or health. And I think our work is aligned. We just approach it differently. Like yours is through the movement, but also through the empowerment of women. And mine is through this platform and through writing. And so now yours is with the writing too. But so much of what you wrote resonated. And one thing that I thought was really beautiful is your title is Small Moves, Big Life. And the imagery that came up for me was almost like a mosaic or like,
Hmm. I love
if you,
that.
yeah, like if you zoom in, the small moves are like the little dots on the mosaic. And then when you zoom out, that's when you see the culmination of like all those small moves.
The
That's
big
like where you
picture.
see the big picture. It's right.
Exactly. Yes.
Yes, that
I've
was,
never heard it described that way. And actually, that is so articulate and accurate. I love that assessment. That is exactly it. That's exactly it. And
yeah.
sometimes you see that person that you think has it all together, but sometimes that mosaic is like little pieces that are jagged and fragmented and a complete mess. But it really is about finding how you can do simple little things every day that become habits that are you don't have to give too much thought to, but it gives you back, right? It gives you back that
Yes.
control. And I'm a single mother. I run multiple businesses. I run my household. I don't live near family. Like I'm doing it all on my own, and it is overwhelming at times. And I just when I was starting to become a single mother, when I was going through this phase, I was like, girl, you've got to get this together because you are sinking. I felt like I was just bobbing, like your head above the water, like you took a breath and then went back down under the water and took a breath and went back down. It was like I just couldn't find my stride. And I was like, I need to figure out what do I do that makes me feel good and do that every single day. And as simple as that, like simple little things that add up. And it sounds cliche, it sounds like something we know, but we don't do it. We don't do it, right? And we think about it or we know we should do it, but we never actually put it into action. It's always thinking and not doing. And so I was like, just do this one thing. And it starts every day with breath work. Like just take that breath, be intentional with it. And that moment that you start your day with intention, everything else starts to follow. And that's really what this whole book is about.
I love it. And you said that you were sort of doing it on your own. Was that part of the genesis of wanting to write it? Because so many of us need the accountability or that feeling that we're not alone in order to get our head back above water.
That is entirely so. So as I was going through this, I was also building my business and internationally doing it. And there were ebbs and flows in my personal life and challenges in my business life. And I work with women, right? So I was a franchisor, a licensor, and I was building businesses, both brick and mortar and online, and working with women from all over the world, whether they were my members or my clients or my franchisees. And it was the same thing. I would go to, whether I was in Asia or Australia, we all had the same things we were dealing with. We still had that feeling of overwhelm. The conversations were the same no matter where I went. And
Yes.
everyone would always ask me, like, how do you do it all? How do you do it all? And I was like, well, I don't really believe in balance. Like I think balance is never, it's never even, right? It's never this like even thing where I am perfectly balanced in work and I'm perfectly balanced in at home. It's really balance is about finding where you need to be at that right time and being present in that
Yes.
moment and accepting
Yes.
it. And so I started pulling back and talking to people every single day and on all my trips. I'm like, oh, well, I do this. Start out with breath work. Oh, and make sure you're doing your stretches every single day. Oh, and here's the great list that I do to be productive during the day. And I just kept repeating and repeating for years these 7 principles that I do. And finally put it into a workshop that I started to teach at my retreats. And
Oh,
then I'm like,
cool.
I've got to make this, a more tangible opportunity for people to take home. I want this to help more women. And over the years, hearing back from all of these members and clients saying that worked. Oh my God, that changed my life. This little action, added up. I'm like, okay, let's do a book. Let's make this happen.
It's so good. And honestly, you did do it in such a way that does feel doable. Because, like I said, sometimes you go online or social media and it's like you've got to get the morning sunlight, but you can't have your contacts or glasses. And so you can't, like, I'm like, I can't see, but I got to get the light in my eyes. And, like, right, it's like all these things
I
you're
like
supposed to
that.
do from the time you wake up. And it's like, no. Andrea says, get up and breathe for 2 minutes. Like, yes, thank you. I will do that. I can do that because I can
Isn't
be in
that
my
the
bed.
truth?
Yes.
It's got to be sustainable. I mean, I've been training in the exercise and wellness industry for years. I have helped women lose 5 pounds to 125 pounds. I have heard it all and seen it all. And it is, I have women that come to me and they're like, okay, so I eliminated everything but, fruits and vegetables, or I'm doing 2 45-minute workouts and I'm drinking a whole jug of water. And then, they come back to me like, I did it all, but it's still not working. It's too much. Like you don't need to overhaul your whole life, and you don't need a whole new life. You don't need to exchange it for a whole new one. You just need to start with tiny little shifts. And
Yes.
you know how it is. I always use this analogy, but when you actually take action in your life
Yes.
and you stop the thought of taking action, like,
Yes.
or the procrastination of not taking action,
Yes.
I always use it like the boxes. For me, it was always the boxes in the hallway. Like, I gotta go to UPS and I don't want to put the boxes in the car. And then I gotta print out the receipt. And then I gotta get out of the car and I gotta tape the box and I've gotta give them my receipt. Like, just that would always like, and every time the box is in the hallway, you pass it and you get into your car and you're like, I'll do that tomorrow. And then you pass
Yes.
it again and I'll do that
Yes.
tomorrow. And by the fourth or fifth day, you don't even have to walk into the hallway. You already feel stress. You already feel anxiety and you already feel like, geez, what, like not a failure, but you feel like, why am I not doing that? I didn't do that. Why, it's simple. Why aren't I doing that? And you put yourself into a position of angst, disappointment, and just defeat.
Yes.
Instead of just saying, okay, today I'm writing down one of the things I'm doing, which is non-negotiable. I'm
Yes.
taking those damn boxes to UPS. And then that little bit, that little thing, when you do that, there's this sudden relief, right? And you're like, how do I feel this good about dropping boxes off? Because it just feels good to get it off your plate and to know you did something you just didn't feel like doing. So whether that's
Absolutely.
boxes to the UPS or whether that is doing your morning workout that you just don't feel like doing, or whether that is, a bigger business venture and you have to take that first step. It's
Yes.
just taking away the process of I want to and doing and bridging that, that fear, that worry, those excuses in the middle, and just taking action and doing it because it's non-negotiable. And you know what you put on your list, you must do.
I love it. Okay. So there are these amazing 7 daily habits. And I want to get into the one you just talked about, which to me
Do the thing.
releases mental, will just do the thing. But let's just take a quick step back just so that my audience has a little bit more
You
insight
bet.
into you because you, from the time you were 3 years old, started dancing, right? You were three?
3 years old.
And you knew this, it was something that lit you up and your parents supported it, which I think is really beautiful. I try to do that with my daughter as well. Like I know what her goal is. She wants to be a filmmaker and all of this stuff. And
Amazing.
so my husband and I support it. It reminded your
Oh,
dad reminded me of like the way my husband is like, okay, you need me to
oh, I
drive
love
you there.
that.
I'm going to take you. And
I
it's
love
so,
that. Oh,
yes,
that's the best thing you can do for your kids. I'm doing
I
the
feel
same with
like
my
it is.
girls. It
Yes.
is. It
You
is. There's no
reflect
regret. You
back.
don't, yes. And you're supporting
Yes.
her and what she wants and what her ambitions are. And she will discover where that lands and how that flows as she gets older. But God, that's like the biggest blessing is I had those type of parents.
And I feel like sometimes it's divinely so. I
Mm.
don't know if that resonates, but I
Mm-hmm.
do feel like, maybe, this was the path and the best parents to like support that path. But you started dancing. I love that you were three and knew what you wanted to do. That's so cute. But you had an amazing career, professional dancer for Disney. I mean, you were just like, you were doing incredibly well. And then at some point, you knew that movement was such a part of you, but you pivoted to bar and then started your own. Just take us a little bit into that because, women are hearing you said you're a single mom, two girls, went through, a divorce that you write about in the book, and you've created all of this success through these small moves, right? Like if we go back to the mosaic, it was like realizing you wanted to dance, getting up, doing all the lessons and, the shows and growing that slowly and then, expanding it though into the next phase of your life. So talk to us more about your journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So started out dancing, as you said, from a very young age. I just was a mover and a shaker, as my mother will tell you from the very beginning. And so it was like put her in dance. And I it was innate. I just loved it. I loved to move. It was a natural thing for me. And I had those type of parents, as we talked about, that supported it wholeheartedly, driving me every day, 45 minutes to our dance class. I lived in a very small town in Michigan, and my studio was a little further away. And my mom would pick me up from school, pack me my snacks. I'd do the homework in the car. I'd get to class, do the homework in the hallways. So it taught me a lot of balance, as we just talked about, and how to get things
Yes.
done, resilience, and just going after what you want from a very young age. And then I grew up and I graduated high school and went off to college. And I was like, okay, this is what I need to do. And my second year in college, I noticed an audition for Disney, and I was like, oh, but no, I'm going to college. I'm going to college. I'm no longer doing the dance thing. So I just called my dad and I said, Dad, there's an audition. Well, I called my mom first. Mom, there's an audition tomorrow. It's in Toronto, which is like a 5 hour drive from us. And my mom's like, call
Mhm.
your father. So I called my dad at work, and my dad's
Right.
like,
He's
coming
gonna
home.
drive. Yeah,
He's
yeah,
gonna, yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And he came home. We packed and loaded up the
Oh,
car. This was like five. I remember, I'll never forget it. We drove, late, got there late at night, woke up the next day, did the audition, and I eventually got the gig. And then after dancing with Disney, so I took a year off school, went back to school, got my
amazing.
degree. And then after graduating, Michelle, I was like, what am I gonna do now? Like everything in my whole world at that point had been movement based, creative based. I was really that type of individual, but I was like, now I have to get a real job. Now I have to, figure out what I'm going to do as an adult. And it was very bewildering for me. I struggled. And I
Mm.
eventually discovered that I wasn't meant to sit behind a desk and I wasn't meant to be in a traditional work setting. I was meant to move and I wanted to continue to move. So I segued my love for movement into a career in Pilates. And I went through a comprehensive certification program. It took a year to learn, to develop, to
Wow.
understand the science behind the movement. I loved it. It was so natural. And I just loved now being able to take this learning and help other women, right?
Yep.
Help other women connect to movement, help other women use movement as an opportunity to feel good and
Yes.
feel the power of what movement can do in your life. And after a few years of teaching Pilates, I started to miss my dance choreography. And I approached the studio owner and I had said,
Ah.
you know what? I want to try this new thing. There's this thing called bar workouts. They're doing them in the city,
Mhm.
in New York City, and they're popping up. But at the time, nobody really, it was just like a city thing, LA and New York. And I was in South Florida. And she said, sure, go ahead, give it a go. And I launched the class, and within 2 weeks, we had a wait list. And I was like,
Wow.
all right, we're on to something here.
Yes.
And so from there, I decided to develop the curriculum and then launch a certification program, From there, I decided to launch licensing, where I would license my intellectual property to various studios throughout the country. And then from there, we went into franchising, and then it grew internationally.
Amazing.
So it was like just little steps. You know, I had no intention of growing an international franchise business. I just wanted to create a workout that was going to make women feel great and look great. And then from there, everything else just happened, right?
It's amazing. Well,
Yeah.
let's break this down a little bit more because a lot of women who listen to the show have those dreams
Hmm.
and they might know the intention or like the essence of like what you just said, like what you wanted to do. You weren't picturing like, I'm going to launch an international franchise. You're like, this is what feels good. I want to introduce this to more women. And then small step after small step, it grew into something bigger. So, what advice would you give to some woman who's listening and has a seed of something,
Mm.
but doesn't really know how to articulate that into like, what do those small steps look like? Maybe she has somewhat of a vision, but doesn't know like where to begin. Any advice you can give to someone
Yeah,
listening?
absolutely. I think any entrepreneur, when they're starting out, it's really important to stay true to what you believe and what you're good at, or your ikigai. And I talk about this a little bit in the book, but it's
Yes.
like I always wanted to look at what is my purpose? What can I deliver to this world that people are willing to pay me for, right? And how can I make a living at that? And I would always go back to that. So if I wanted to do bar workout, but I wanted to go way over here with it, I would go back to my initial, okay, what is your purpose? My purpose
Mm,
is to whatever that woman's purpose is. For me, it was to just help to connect to more women and help more women experience this program. What can I do then to help more women experience this program? Then it started the licensing, and then it started the franchising. And honestly, I would say the biggest advice is to connect with individuals who believe in you and who know more than you. so
okay.
so for me, that's really how my business grew. I knew what I was really good at, and that was creating
Yes.
content, creating programming, teaching, educating. And I knew what I wasn't great at. I had no idea what licensing was. I didn't have a
Yeah.
clue on franchising.
Sure.
And I met individuals, who brought some knowledge to me, who believed in me, and I leaned into their expertise. And we would barter for certain things, and we would, connect and network. But I was very aware of what I wasn't good at, and very
Mm,
happy to bring women into my circle that were better at that than I, and
mm.
were able to help guide me in that direction. I always say, like, I built this company with an amazing crew of women behind me.
I love this. And it's interesting. I remember taking a bar class.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, like what it was probably when it first started, I was getting
Did you hate it or
certified.
love it?
Okay, so I was getting certified as a holistic health coach, and one of my friends in the program was like, "You've got to do bar." It was literally around the corner from my house. I lived
Oh
in a
my gosh.
fifth floor walk up. I had my little girl who was probably 20 pounds. I'd carry her up and down. So, like, I was strong,
Oh,
but I wore a back brace for scoliosis for 6 years.
oh,
So, I'm pretty rigid.
yep.
Physically, the movement's not there. And I remember going to class and thinking it was so cool, but they had like the two ballet bars, the lower one and the higher
Yeah,
one. And
yeah.
there's like an 80-year-old woman next to me on the high
Yes,
bar. And
yes.
I could barely lift to the low one. And I think at that time, at like, I don't know, was I 40 or whatever, however
Yeah.
old I was like a little embarrassed. I was like, I don't know if I can come back for this.
Yep,
So I
yep.
didn't. But my friend Allison was
Mm.
like, you need to stick with it. It's like, that's an example of where you can go. Like, look at how. So I wish I did stay with it.
Gonna have to, yes, we'll get you access to the online program. But you just brought up such a good point, which I love, is that you
Yes.
looked to your side and you saw that 80-year-old woman.
Yes, I
That
did.
was one of my clients. That was when I had my studio. That's what I loved the most. I would have the girls that came home from college with their
Yes.
mothers and their mothers. I mean, three
Yes.
generations were in that studio. And I tell this story in the book, but one of my clients, Judy, she was 75 when she started with me in South Florida. She was from Michigan and shared her time between Michigan and South Florida. And I remember her telling me after a few years, which is she was like near 80 years old, she was like, I'm in the best shape of my life. And the power of that. And it wasn't because she did the hardest moves and she didn't do them perfectly. She modified pretty much every single move, but she showed up every single day. And she was
Yes.
consistent. And why? Not because she absolutely loved to put her body through that every single day, but because she knew she needed it. She knew that if
Yes.
she did that every day, her life was going to be so much better, especially at her age. And I think sometimes we take that for granted because here she is towards the later years of her life, dedicating that type of time to bettering her body physically that would translate to mental health as well. And then we have, the younger generation who's just like taking it for granted, right? And so that to me was such a life lesson. Judy stays with me all the time. I will do a move. I'm like, Judy did it.
I
Judy could
love
do
it.
it. I can
Right.
do it.
I love this. And also, you talk about it in the book. You had a client who was, she lost 100 pounds. She was a nurse. And I thought
Sarah.
that was really, yes, I loved her story. I thought that was really powerful. And it aligns with what you're talking about in this idea of small moves. So what is that mindset, Andrea? What would you have told me back then if I was like, yeah, this was super fun. Bye. I'm not coming back. I'm going to walk because I walked everywhere. I lifted my
Yeah.
daughter. Like I was
Yeah.
probably in the best shape of my life from that, but I still was not flexible. And that is something I still desire for this body of mine that's,
Oh, we're going to
54
get you
now.
there.
Yeah, I want it, please. So
We're
what's
going to
the
get you
mindset?
there.
What's the
Well, I
mindset?
think we've already, you and so many of us in all different situations, whether it's a bar workout, whether it's going to a networking event that makes us nervous, we already have put up this barrier to entry. We've already
Yes.
decided where we fit in and where we don't fit in. We've already decided what's good for us and what isn't good for us or what we're going to excel at. And the second that fear creeps in or the second that doubt or worry creeps in, we go right to excuses and we find a way to excuse it, right? Like I'm walking up the stairs, I'm fine, I don't need this, or this isn't for me. I was like, and I always encourage my clients, I say, lean into that. That's when you lean in and give it a good go and be very honest with your effort. And if after a month of you doing classes, you said to me, I do not like this, I'd be like,
Yeah.
good, you move on. You do your thing, you find something that you enjoy. But
Right.
when you already have determined that it's not for you before you've actually given it a real go, it's such a
Yes.
disservice to what the opportunity could present to you, right?
Okay.
And so Sarah, my client, for example, I mean, she had a very significant health issue, right? I mean, she was bedridden, face down for months without able to move, only to use the bathroom for minutes a day. Talk about mindset. I mean, talk about having to overcome challenges and struggles. And everything in her was telling her, enough, give up. You don't need to try anymore. But there was that
Yes.
little tiny, tiny, tiny voice that we all have that really says, you're capable. You can do this. You know it's going to
Yes.
be hard. It's not going to be fun, but you know you can do this. And she decided to just let that little voice happen. And it wasn't a big thing. She decided one little sign, which was a sign from me, sending an email inviting people to a test group, was her sign. And she said, this is it. This is the
Goosebumps.
accountability I need. This is
Yeah.
the encouragement and empowerment I need. And she decided, and a lot of people could see that sign and shove it off, but she decided to use that
I
as an
don't mean to
opportunity.
laugh because how many signs do we get? And we do, or like, as a guest once said, it's not a signy enough sign. Like I need a bigger sign,
Wait, I
she
love that.
right.
It's
Yeah.
true. It's
Yes.
true. Hmm.
Right.
Listen, we are prone to just come up with the excuses. We all do it to kind of protect our mental health, but it's funny because it
Yes.
ends up sometimes doing the exact opposite. And so Sarah was such an inspiration. What she said to me was, I didn't go into this saying, I mean, she knew she had 100 pounds plus to lose, but she's like,
Yes.
I didn't even focus on that. I just let it go. And I said, what am I going to do today? I'm going to get up and move my body. And
Mm.
that was simple as that. And the goal was to simply just move her
Move the
body.
body.
She didn't have a goal of completing the workout. She had to stop, she had to take breaks. And the next day, same thing for weeks. And then it was, let's complete the workout for weeks. And then it was, well, you know what? I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel some energy. Maybe I can set a goal to actually lose some weight. And the first goal was just 5 pounds. And then after she reached 5 pounds, she was like, maybe I can do 7. Maybe I can do 10. Maybe I can do 15. And she's over 100 pounds now. Sarah just went on her first retreat with me
Oh,
and
cool.
in Madeira, Portugal, and I got to meet her for
Nice.
the first time.
Oh,
And we
cool.
took a before picture and an after picture when I met her a couple years ago during her weight loss journey to where she is now. I have goosebumps.
I'm
And
getting them. I'm getting
however,
them.
because I watched her on top of a catamaran and the boat next to me go on the very top tier in her
Wow.
bathing suit in front of all
Oh,
of these women, and she has a fear like of heights, and she jumped off that catamaran, and we all, whew, I got goosebumps everywhere, and we
I'm
all
still
watched
getting
her
them.
and
Wow.
shouted for her, and I saw her physically go from like old Sarah to new Sarah, and she looked at me, we were emotional, and it was just this like, did you just do that? Like, look who you are. Look who
Yeah.
you are. She rode e-bike. She's like, I am not a person that gets on a bike. I don't ride bikes. I don't, this is not me. I don't jump off boats. I don't wear bathing suits. I don't go for hikes. Like she just was this entirely new person and she just got engaged and she's like living this life that she
It's
dreamed of
beautiful.
living that for years she told herself she wasn't worthy of or didn't deserve or couldn't have. And she finally stopped listening to all of the baloney that we tell ourselves and herself. And she said, I'm going to use this one little sign and I'm going to do this one small thing today. And it's non-negotiable. And she said that. She's like, I said, I'm not going to come up with an excuse. I'm going to work out every single day, even if it's for 5 minutes. Just 5 minutes, I'm going to do it every day. And what it did is it taught her she can do the hard things. And that's what it's about. It's that little moment when you move your body when you don't want to, or you do whatever the thing is that you don't want to,
Love that.
and you go, okay, all right, Andrew, I did that. Atta girl. I was like, atta girl. You know, you can do that. You can do more. And it's
Yeah.
just building that resilience and it's building that self-worth, and confidence that you
Yes.
can do it. And it's not always going to be rainbows and sparkles. I always tell my girls, not
Yes.
everything's going to be cupcakes and rainbows, but you still got to do it to get to the rainbow. Like you got to do it to see the rainbow.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people give up. It's interesting because I liked when I read in your story, so you teach on the Bodhi platform Beachbody, which I had done
Yep.
years ago
Yep.
too at some point.
I
I
love
think
that.
probably everyone did Beachbody or whatever. So it's
Yep.
Bodhi now. And it was 10 years in the making for that too. I think a lot of people would give up. So again, I know resilience is like, a part of you, but like give us some advice around that too, because I think unfortunately culture is like, you're looking at everyone's highlight reels. So if things don't happen fast enough, we think like, oh, it's not for us. So what do you say to that?
Oh, you know what? I just got a message from somebody on my Instagram, a DM, and somebody was like, "Oh, I want to do what you're doing. I want to have your life. I want to have that flexibility. I want to have that career." And how do I get there? Like, I'm like, "Oh, well, this has been 20 years in the making. Like,
Yes.
this has been 20 years
Yes.
to get to this
Overnight
point."
success.
There is,
Yes.
yes. And when you look at something like, working with Beachbody, I had that on my vision board. I had it on my vision board on my phone. I had it in a tangible vision board, and I knew that's where I wanted to land.
Mm.
And I did everything I could to get there. It was cold calling, cold emailing, like figuring out who worked where, like, dear Lara at Beachbody. Like, I didn't know if it was landing or what. And I finally worked and finally got a hold of someone and then was told, nah, bar's not our thing, try again later. I kept contacting, kept contacting. Finally, after a couple of years, they finally said, okay, let's do a trial run. I was like, oh my God, this is it. This is it. I finally have it. I was 5.5 months pregnant with my second daughter, and I was having some health things too. I wasn't able to move as well during that time. I was having trouble with breathing and things like that. But I was like, I'm not losing this opportunity. So I found someone that could help me teach. Well, like I co-taught. I mean, I did everything I could, and it didn't come to fruition. Even though the results were amazing, they just decided to go to a different direction. And instead of, I mean, first of all, I was hormonal, right? I
Of
was
course,
six
five
months
and a half.
pregnant by the end of
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
oh, it didn't work out, but I didn't say, all right, enough Beachbody, you're not for me. I was like, no, we're going to keep this going. I know there's something there. And so my point of contact there, who I'm still good friends with today, Lara, I reached out to her and I put it on my calendar every 6 months. I put it on my calendar with no end. And it took me years. By the time I actually landed the gig, it was over 10 years from the time I talked to them to the first time to the time I actually got a deal and signed my contract.
Amazing.
So I just called every 6 months. Hey, Lara, it's Andrea. Remember me? Any changes? No, but we'll let you know. And then one day they called.
So what is within you that allows you to have that? Is it confidence? Is it a sense of like, just that you've got the talent? Like, is it that you think life is such a gift and I'm just here this one time? Like, what drives you when you're doing that? Because I think hearing it sometimes helps unlock something for someone else.
I know I'm capable. So if I have something in mind that intrigues me, excites me, and I want. And I
Yes,
know that I am capable. I'm going to do it. I'm
you're
going to
gonna
do
do
it.
it.
Like I know
Yeah.
I'm meant, even when I was going through the hardest times in my life, kept saying to myself, you're meant for great things. I am meant for
Oh,
great things in
more
this life.
goosebumps. This is
And I
so
know
good.
I'm meant for great things. And that doesn't mean I'm just sitting around going, come to me, great things. I'm affirming that I'm meant for great things and everything comes to me. I know I'm going to work my tush off. and I know it's going to be like this because it really is. It really is.
Of
There,
course.
it's so hard when you're running your own business and doing all the things. There's days that you're like, it's really a lot, but I just continued to focus forward.
Mm,
And I knew that I could do the job and not only do the job, but do it really damn well.
yeah.
And I knew that I was meant for it and I was going to figure out how to make it happen.
Mm,
And that doesn't mean that I haven't pivoted. I have pivoted. I have changed directions. I've changed courses. But when I really feel like this is where I need to land, I'm
yeah.
everything in my power to get there and not let anything or anyone get in my way.
Mm. And you were very self-motivated, right?
I am.
And confident, which is
Yes.
both beautiful qualities. So what advice would you give to a woman who doesn't have that,
Yeah, it's funny.
but wants it?
I was
Yeah.
just talking to my mom about this because we're talking about the book, and she was like, "You were just born that way. You were born confident," and
Yes.
I was, and gratefully so. And I
Yes.
also think that dance helped that tremendously. Putting me on stage at a young age, having to perform. I did solos from the time I was 4 years old, so I had to get over that fear of like what people thought of me very early on. And I
Yes.
also feel like I'm like one of those girls. Like I love being around amazing women. Like my
Yes.
circle of friends are phenomenal women that are doing amazing things and like just, and then some that are just, I just love being around strong, powerful women. So I've never been
Yes.
someone that's been jealous of women. I'm like, get me in the room with her. She's amazing. I want to be her
Yes.
friend. I want to know her. I want to do. So I think but I say that because I didn't compare myself. I've never really been that person to go, well, she's here and I'm here. I have a mindset of like, she's there. What can I learn from her? What did she
Beautiful.
do? Like, how can I do that? And
Yes.
even when I'm scrolling and I see a business that has done more than me or a person that I aspire to be that is like far, far beyond my reach, like so far beyond my reach, it seems unattainable. I I get this like spark inside of me. I'm like, yes, girl, come on. Come on, let's go. Let's giddy up. What are you doing right now? And I go right back to my list and I'm like, tomorrow I'm going to do this. Like just last night, it happened to me. And I saw this woman who's really great at doing marketing. And I was like, on my list, I was like, I'm going to write a random DM to her tomorrow. And it might go nowhere, but I'm going to go after it. And then I'm going to find three more people that are just like her in her industry. And I'm going to write to them and see. And that's kind of what I've done for so many years is just like, try, try and go after
Yes.
it, make those connections and make those movements happen and surround myself again with very capable individuals who inspire the heck out of me and also inspire me to be better and do better.
I love that. Okay, so let's shift because we've talked about it a couple times. One of the daily habits that I did love was your approach to the to-do list, which is no longer the way we think of it. And I have the notebook. So if for somebody who's not watching this on YouTube, though, I just get these like I'm taking like the tag off, but
Yes.
just like a little notebook. But
Yep.
this is what it looks like. This is just mine. And then the next page is like the stuff for my daughter, and then like things I need to ask my husband to do. And it's
Love
like,
that.
yeah, but is
I
it
love that you write it
effective?
down.
I
Oh,
do. I need to write it down, but I loved your approach. So tell us how
yeah.
you approach the to-do list. Cause I
So
was like,
I
I'm
used to
doing
do that.
this. Yes. But
I used to do
this
that with that
makes,
list.
yeah, the mental
And
load just feels like,
and then you go through it, and that's exactly it. You go through it, and you're like, ah,
where do I
and it's
start?
all written out. So you feel
Yeah.
like, okay, I did that. I wrote it down. I'm winning. I wrote it down. But then it's like,
Yes.
where do I start, and what's
Yes.
next? And this still has to go. And wait, no, I'm going to do this first. And then, so for me, that's what happened. I was one that had to write it down. I wanted a physical version of what I needed to do.
Yes.
I also did notes on my phone. Like I made sure I was doing it. And I was like, this is ridiculous. Because every time I opened it up, I ended up feeling anxiety. And I'm like, this is not a good thing for me to go to this. And
I'm
every time
relating. Yeah.
right? And I'm like, whoo, I get that instant like fight
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
flight,
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yes.
this is not where I should be right now. My energy should not feel this way. This is supposed to calm me. So I just did a radical simplification. And I was like, okay, three things today, girl, that I'm going to do that are going to move the needle. Okay.
Yes.
Not just three things that are just like tasks, but like three things that by when I go to bed tonight, I want to put my head on the pillow and go, that felt good. Okay, that was good. And normally one of those things is going to be some type of motivator, meaning like
Yes.
I did something that felt like I moved myself into a position, just a tiniest little thing. Like I said, I sent that DM and I felt good about that. Like, okay, I'm taking one little step towards what I want to accomplish, which is a lot bigger. And that made me feel motivated. Like I did that one thing, and tomorrow I'm going to do the same thing, and that motivating factor so that I can keep moving towards that goal. And then
Yes.
it's always something personal. I mean, like I had to just moved into a new house, like I told you. I had to make
Yes.
sure all the bedding was done for the guest room because I have someone staying with me next week, and it's been
Yes.
sitting there, folded up, piled in the corner, and I'm like, I gotta
Uh-huh.
wash it, I gotta fold it, I gotta make the bed, I gotta put the pillows on, and I gotta do it, and now it's done, and it looks so pretty. And I walk by the room, I'm like, that made me feel good, you know,
Yes.
and so you just find those three things every day that are going to make you feel like you're moving the needle, not
Mm.
treading water, not just getting through the day. Okay. So, and they're non negotiable. So for somebody, it might be I need to move my body every day, and it's really hard for me to work out every day. So every day that could be on your list. Move my body until it doesn't need to be on the list anymore, until you
Right.
have made it a habit and you don't need to do it. But it's
Yes.
identifying those three things. And then that's at the top of the pier. If you do those three things, you have won your day. Okay. And then I put
Yes.
underneath it two more additional would
Bonus.
have, could have, should love. Yeah, like, exactly. Like, yes, you're winning even more today. And those are the two things that are like, okay, I already did my three things today. I'm on it. And now here are my two, if I can get to it, I can get to it. And then the last one, which is like a bonus, it's like a signature move, which I always say is something that feeds your soul,
Mm.
right? So, what is it that feeds your soul? And sometimes for me, that is just like going for a walk. Sometimes that is turning music on in the car when I'm by myself and nobody's there and I'm singing. It's going into my workout little room and turning the music on and just letting myself move with no intention, no purpose, no perfection, and just knowing that it feels good for me. So, just picking that one thing. And that it's simple. It's called do the thing.
Do the
And it's
thing.
really DTT, do the thing. And once you start doing the thing, it starts to create that momentum. And,
Yes.
I think a lot of people think that you wake up in the morning and those kind of people, the ones that work out every day, the ones that do all those things, just wake up motivated. They're just motivated and ready to go every day.
No.
We know that's not the case. Like,
No.
I don't wake up every day and I'm like, spandex, let's go, grab the weights, can't wait to do it. It's like, I got a million other things to do, but it's about discipline and it's about doing the thing. And the doing the thing is what creates
Love
that
that.
action is what creates motivation,
Yes.
right? And it
Yes.
creates motivation. Why? Because you're doing something that gives results. And the results could be physical, emotional. I mean, it could be anything, right? Mental. You're getting results when you do something. When you take action and you do the thing, you feel a little dopamine hit. You feel pride.
Yes.
And then that pride resonates and it goes into the rest of your day. It's just
Yeah.
something simple, like eating a healthy meal in the beginning of the day. You're less likely to eat crap for lunch if you've just really dedicated some time to sit down and eat a mindful meal in the morning. And it just continues to snowball. And that's the snowball effect that we want to have across, every facet of our lives.
I love this so much. And like I said, I think it's funny because I've had like Brian Moran who wrote the 12-week year,
Mm-hmm.
and every expert that I've had on, and I loved him, and that was one of my favorite episodes. But as a guy, I've always like, I want to have a woman on who actually also has children, only not because, I mean, it just makes
Yeah.
a difference because
Yeah. It does.
it does. And you have a pet, I have a pet. Like, as you add more
It's a
lives,
lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
A
It becomes
lot.
a lot
It's a
to
lot.
carry. And so I was like, oh, Andrea's the first woman that I've had on who, ticks all those boxes and also has this amazing system that can actually move the needle, which is what we want. And when you were writing the book, was that on your list every day?
Yes, it actually was every single day. And it changed because I would dedicate it was a long process. It was a very long process. So it wasn't every single day, but it was every week. So I would figure out what I needed to do to, whether that was like refine the proposal or revise the pitch or, start working on sample chapter one. It was
Ah,
always part of it. Yes, it was. And
yes.
and I travel a lot for work too. So I have to be mindful. Not every day could be writing day, but I knew how I zoomed out and noticed, okay, here I go. I need to make sure 3 to 4 days a week I'm writing and this is what
Yes.
it's going to be. So I think
Yes.
zooming out's another big thing that we forget to do is, and that comes down, and that's for women mostly. I mean, we always are chasing this perfectionism. whether it's like, oh God, I missed my workout, or I ate a bad meal, or I didn't get this done, or I missed my daughter's school event because I had to do this. And we're always in this constant chase of perfection. And then
Yes.
this constant turmoil of like not meeting that perfection and always feeling like we're behind, right? We're always
Always.
feeling like we're behind, even when you know you're doing well. So and then come up with excuses to continue down those negative patterns. You know what I mean? So if you're
Yes.
on a diet and you fall off the wagon, like I say in the book, don't set up camp. Get back on the wagon. Like it's
Yes.
okay. We're not supposed to be perfect. We're not supposed to sit here and like, sing our songs by the fire and have s'mores. We're supposed to get back on the wagon and keep going forward. And we're not supposed to be perfect when we're doing it. There's going to be bumps in the road, and that's okay. So I think it's like we have to zoom out and go, how'd you do this week? Pretty good. You did pretty good. How'd you do this month? Pretty good, And it's not always going to be
Yes.
perfect, but did you make the effort? And are you doing the right things to make yourself feel good and also the people around you? So zooming out to me is very important, because I have people that are saying, Andrea, I missed the workout yesterday. Ugh. I'm like, yeah,
So what, you give up? Right. You did seven others, right?
correct.
Right.
Zoom
And you're
out,
like, yeah,
girl.
yeah, yeah. Zoom
Zoom
out.
out. You're
Don't.
doing great. Like,
Yes.
zoom out. You
We're
are doing
s-
so good.
we're so hard on
We are
ourselves.
so hard on ourselves.
And the funny part is we can move mountains if it's for someone we care about. We know how to get stuff done
Isn't that
quickly.
the truth?
Yes, we can move mountains. We can make things happen like that. But when it's
Yep.
for
And no
ourselves, it's like,
guilt.
and no guilt.
And no guilt,
Yeah. And
because
if
it's
you mess
not for
up,
ourselves.
right.
I mean, how crazy is that? How crazy is that
It's
we've been conditioned
conditioning. Yeah,
I mean, it's a beautiful thing to help other people. We should, and
it
we should
is.
feel great about it. But
Yes,
why should we not feel that way about ourselves? Why should we not
totally.
feel that way about dedicating time and energy towards ourselves
Yes.
and at the sacrifice of maybe somebody in your life? That's okay too. That's okay too.
Yes. 100%. Let's talk about stretching. I love
Yes.
this one.
Oh,
It's funny because
you stretch?
well, no. And so, what's funny? I
Yeah.
watch my dog every morning. So first time dog owner, we got him 4 years ago. I was 50 years old
Oh,
for my daughter, but also I
yes.
always wanted one. I've always wanted a dog. We couldn't have a dog when I was little. And he gets up and he stretches. He stretches his this way and then he stretches this way. And I'm thinking like intuitively, I'm like, there's something to this. Like he knows, and I should be doing the same thing every time I watch him. And then I read it in your book. I'm like, yeah, I gotta start stretching. I
I,
don't.
I am laughing inside because every morning when my dog stretches, I'm like, I wish every woman in the world that has a dog would look at their dog. I swear to God, would look at
Stop.
their dog stretching, because clearly they just slept all night and then they get up and they have to
It's
stretch. And
the
it's a
first
long stretch.
thing.
It's the first thing they do. And yet,
Literally.
what do?
Oh yeah, grab the
We
phone.
grab our phone.
100%. And then our brains get
And then we
engaged.
wake up and then we go into anxiety and then we go into go mode. And then it's always just chasing our tails, pun intended, for the rest of the day.
Totally.
Right?
That's so funny.
So
Yes. And he shakes it off too. I love
yes.
how he
Yeah.
shakes stuff
Yeah.
off.
And then here he goes. And he's
And
on
he's
his way.
going, he's ready. And he's
And
like,
he's
let's
ready to go.
feed
And
me, let's
so,
play. Yeah.
yes, so we need to take note
From our dogs.
from
That's
our
funny.
dogs.
You literally thought that the
I
other day.
swear, when you just said that, I'm like,
Was she in my brain when
yeah,
I was looking at
correct.
my
I'm like,
dog?
huh.
Yeah.
I'm a new dog owner too, and
You are. It's the
I watch
best.
my little Chetty stretch every morning, and I'm like,
Oh,
I'm going to take a video and post this. So now I'm going
do
to.
it, do it, do
Now
it.
I'm going to. I'm going to
Yes,
tag you in it. But yes, I mean, think about how good that feels when you see them stretch. It gives you a sense of satisfaction just watching them stretch. So for
totally.
me, it is non-negotiable. Morning, afternoon, and evening, I stretch. I'm talking 2 to 3 minutes. It takes moments of your day. When you combine the morning breath with the stretch, I'm telling you, you will never start your day the same way again.
Can you walk
First of
my
all,
audience through it? Just give them
yes.
a visual of this.
Yes, absolutely. So
Yes.
eyes open, no reaching for the phone. Ideally, the phone is not even in the room.
Yeah.
Okay. So the
Yes.
alarm goes off, eyes
Yes.
open, intentional breathing. So for me, I have a go to breath. I call it inhale and extend. It is a 4 count inhale. I hold at the top for 4 counts, and then I have a long, deep exhale for 8 counts. And I do
Yes.
that 3 to 4 times. Sometimes when I'm short on time, it's one time, it's one round. Sometimes I need 6, sometimes I need 8. I really listen to my body until I feel that sense of calm and direction and focus and grounding. Then from there, and I'm still laying in bed, I'm supine, I'm on my back, right? Then I
Mm,
reach my arms up and I curl my head, neck, and shoulders up and I reach towards my toes. Oh,
mm.
I don't care what you're sleeping on, what great mattress you have, what great pillow you have. I don't care if you're like sleep in a luxury, you're still going to need to move your body. Your body is sat idle all night. Like your bones and ligaments need to have that stretch. They need to move. And just that
Yes.
forward fold, which is just a simple
Yes.
forward fold, reaching towards your toes, letting your cervical spine get a stretch, letting the entire spine all the way down to your lumbar get a stretch. And then I just turn my head a little side to side. And again, I focus back on my breath and I hold that stretch for a count of 4, hold the breath for 4, and exhale deeper into the stretch for 8. And some mornings I'll do 2 to 3 stretches. Some mornings I'm just doing one stretch and I'm holding that stretch a little bit longer. And it's really not about perfection. It's not about certain timing. It's just about being intentional to
Mm,
take some time in the morning, the first thing before your feet hit the floor,
mm,
to just say, I'm worth these few minutes. I'm going to get my mind straight. I'm going to set my body up for success for the day. And I'm not going to rush out of this bed in a flurry of what I have to chase after today. I'm going to stand proud and I'm going to stand aligned and intentionally move my body. And then I'm on with my day. And it is something so simple. And when you start to do this, and I hope you
mm.
do, you will start to feel like you are a queen, like you are in control. You are taking control of that little moment of your life, and everything comes and trickles from there. If you can take a
So
few minutes of your
beautiful.
day in the morning before the chaos begins, and I'm talking chaos because I live it too, it's like you just need that time. And it doesn't take an extra hour for you to get up an hour early to do it. It takes minutes, moments, just intentional moments.
Totally accessible. And the other thing that I liked, what did you call them? Micro snacks? Wait, what was it?
Oh, movement snacks.
Movement snacks. Because
Movement
this is,
snacks.
yeah, tell us about what a movement snack is and how we can do
So
this. Because this I love too.
this
Because
is one of
again,
my favorites.
yes, this is
Bite-sized, small
genius.
things that add up. So
Yes.
throughout the day, and I do these, I've been doing these for years, and people always laugh at me. Like my friends will come over and I'm cooking something on the stove or something's in the microwave and I'm doing my plies, I'm doing my lunges. I will fold laundry and do lunges, and I'm always like, I will never not brush my teeth and move my body because I'm like, it's 2 minutes of me just standing here. I
What
might
are
as
you doing when you brush your
what am
teeth?
I doing? So what
No,
am I,
what are you
what am
doing?
I doing? Oh,
Literally.
well,
Yes.
that's exactly right. I was like, what am I doing with my time here? So I'm optimizing
No,
those
I
two
want to
minutes.
know what you're
So
physically
I
doing when you
typically
brush your
do when I'm
teeth,
brushing
because
my
I'm going
teeth
to
because I
do
have to be
this.
cognizant of my position with my mouth and the toothbrush. I'm
Right.
typically doing these little back attitudes. So I stand up, tuck my tailbone under, I squeeze my glutes, and I just draw my leg back and it engages my glutes. And I'll do 1 minute on the right and 1 minute on the left. Or I'll stand side to my bathroom sink and I do batmas, which are just kicks. I just lift my leg, use my abs, and I just lift my leg up for 1 minute. And let me tell you, that 1 minute, by the
Adds
time you're
up.
done with that 1 minute, you're like,
Yeah.
okay, so the other
Compounds.
side. And then you do the other side. And I do that morning and night. And it's just these little things that add up. Throughout the day when I'm standing and waiting,
Mm.
I move. It's just quick little things. Even when I'm sitting in carpool line and I can't physically move, I'm doing stretches. I'm doing shoulder rolls down. I'm trying to think
Mm.
about
I
elongation of my
know.
spine.
You would think after wearing a back brace, I'd have like perfect posture, but I
Well,
don't.
it's challenging. Nobody does because
Yeah.
we sit around and we're not, our lives are not built for that type of posture. So it has to be intentional. My
Yes.
daughters, oh my God, if I say the word posture, it's going to haunt them for the rest of their lives. But I'm telling you, it's like my daughter, I'll just look at her and she'll go, okay, mom. Like
Yeah.
I just,
Shoulders back.
yeah, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm just intentional with it.
Especially
Drawing
with
my
their
abs in
phones.
and
Yeah.
up,
Yeah.
engaging my pelvic floor muscles, like doing little
Mm.
things throughout the day that just add up. And they add up.
Okay, so what can you tell us about? So I have a lot of women who listen who are very active. They've always been very active. But for those of us who are a little stiffer, who haven't embraced that, when I lived in the city in Boston and had the walk up, like I did, I
Mm.
really was in carrying my 20-pound baby in the stroller and the groceries. Like I really felt so strong. So for somebody who's sort of been out of it, you would think with San Diego, I'd be even more active, but I haven't been here. We're in the car more. There
Yes.
it was like living in when you lived in New
Yep,
York.
exactly.
You're getting like 4 miles in a day without
Yep.
even trying
Yep.
of just walking. So what can we really do? Like, you talked about like the stretch, like, or if I had taken the bar class and I stayed with it, I imagine you're saying I could get to the point where I could have hit that top bar with time.
Absolutely.
See, I have to get
Absolutely.
through that through my head because there's like a little bit of a like, oh, my body doesn't work that way. I'd be the
Oh,
person
it
who would
does.
take the yoga class, and I was always the one the teacher was adjusting because I'm like, I was compressed for 6 years. So it's like I just like, oh, I want to move like that. It's just that's not what's natural.
And that's so. when you say top bar, I'm thinking your top bar. So your top bar might be different than my top
Interesting.
bar, right? So
Interesting.
you can hit your top bar. Everybody can hit their top bar.
I
It
love
might be,
that.
I mean, me at 4 or 11. Well, now I'm 5 feet now. So I have grown a little bit. I just went for my license and I was like, oh, I hit the 5 foot mark.
I love it.
I
I
went.
shrunk an inch with perimenopause. I went from 5'3" to 5'2". I'm like,
It's the
what? I
posture.
lost.
It's the movement
Oh my
snacks.
God, I'm doing it. I can get the inch back. Let's do
I
it.
love it. But it's true. It's everybody's top bar is different. In my workouts, I call it the challenge zone. And I say your challenge zone is different for everybody. My client Judy, who's 80 years old, her challenge zone is going to be very different than the college student next to her
Yes.
challenge zone. But the
Yes.
goal is not to look to the right and be exactly like the person to the right. The goal is to look at yourself and figure out where you can go, where you push yourself, where you can achieve more, and not already determine where that is before you've even given it a go, right?
Yes.
So for those people at home, and this is my client base. This is who they are. I work with a lot of women who have not moved their bodies, who've not moved maybe since college or high school, or people
Hmm.
that are just getting into it. And that's why I do bite-size workouts. I do mini workouts. So part of the book launch, it was really important to me that movement be a strong pillar, and I gave accessibility to individuals to do the book. So I filmed a series of 12 mini workouts and stretches
Love
that go in
this.
the book. So if anybody pre-orders the book, they get access to the workouts for free. And this is removing the barrier to entry. This is me going, no excuses. It's right here for you. It's free. And you can do these workouts. And in 10 minutes, you are going to feel like you just did a 45-minute or hour long workout because I optimize every moment of that workout. But I also make it very accessible. I show how to modify. You can take breaks. You could do 2 minutes and then take a break and then do another 2 minutes and take a break. But it's no excuses because we all have 10 minutes. We all
We
have 10
do.
minutes.
Yeah.
There, I mean, that's black and white, right? We all have 10 minutes and we can move our body for 10 minutes. And so I started a challenge a couple weeks ago. We're into week 2 now of the challenge with this Small Moves Big Life 10-minute workout. And it is incredible. All these new women that are joining me now that are like, I didn't think I could do your other workouts. They were too much for me. They were too long. I didn't think I belonged in your community, but I decided to try these. And oh my God, I'm like, I can't believe I'm working out every day. I've never worked out every day. And
Wow.
it's just because I removed the barrier to entry. I removed the mirror shining on them saying, you can't do that. It was like, nope, you can do this. Give it a go with us. You've got a community behind you. I think you just have to take the first small move. You have to do it. You have to press play. And that's
Yeah.
what I say. Just press play
Yeah.
and do it.
Yeah. When I do those morning workouts, I have this video series that I follow. My
Oh, I love
body's
that.
always like, thank you. No, I want to do yours now. So we're
You
going
are
to have
going
to
to.
find
I'm
out.
going to
I'm
get you
going to do yours.
access.
Yeah.
I'm going to
No.
send it to you after this. You're
Oh
going to
my God.
start.
You're so, I'm doing, I so love everything you said. Do you have a favorite of your habits in the book
I would say not a favorite, but I would say a
or most
base.
impactful? Okay.
I would say
Yeah.
I always go back to movement. And I'll say
Yeah.
this because you get so much from it. You
Yes.
don't just get the physical, but you also get the mental, right? You're
Yes.
releasing endorphins. You are actually doing something to make your brain function better. And you're also getting that physical confidence that comes with working out. You're also then going to translate that into eating healthier because you
You've
just
done
worked
something
out. So
good.
you don't want to you don't want to defeat all that work that you just did. So you're going to
Totally.
do something good. And then when you're mentally feeling good, you're going to feel more energy and you're going to have more energy to do more things throughout the day. So for me, it's like the foundation. I say, move your body, move your life, right? If you move your body, you will move your life.
More goosebumps. And I was thinking when you were talking about how you've always done the thing, I think it's also because you've always moved. It's
Yes,
that body confidence becomes overall confidence or
that's
something because
exactly
it's
it.
like it's your foundation.
Objects in motion stay in motion.
Yes, and then it calms the mind. Like there's like it's all right. I always say if you're going to start one place, yeah, it should be your body. Now I just
Agreed.
have to take my own good advice. I mean, I walk, but it's not enough. If we want to get those nice cut thighs in our 50s and like can we do that? Like
Oh
I
God,
was
yes.
that's like
You,
a I was like I want to have good thighs.
and that's the thing. Like I always say to everybody, like you want to work out for your health, right? We all want to work out for our
100%.
health because we want to be
I
able
want to be
to have
strong.
you want to be strong and you want to grow strong.
Yes.
Like you said, you want to be able to go up the stairs and carry your groceries or your baby or whatever it is. When I just had my move, I was moving boxes and I kept saying to myself, this is why I work out. I don't work out just to look good, but I do work out to look good too,
And you
okay?
look good. You look
But
good.
but I have
I want
confidence
your
from that.
thighs.
And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that either. There's nothing wrong with
No.
saying, I want my abs to feel stronger. I want to look good in my derriere. I want those chiseled thighs. There's nothing wrong with that either. Whatever it is,
Yes.
whatever your goals are, that's valid and it's beautiful and you just go after it. And if that's your motivator, then lean into it. You know what I mean?
Yes.
But but focus on how good it makes you feel at the same time, because movement is such a powerful, powerful tool. And if you are the person that gets up and does that workout every day, whether it's 5 minutes or 50 minutes, you're going to be the person that does other things consistently too. So
100%. 100%. This is so good. Do you have a vision for like what's next? Or are you just in a
I
place right now?
do.
Yeah. Anything you want to share? I don't
I
know.
do. I'm actually working on another book as we speak. So,
Okay.
so I'm working on that, and then I'm working on a new business, a whole new business that is more in line with the teen and tween demographic for my daughters. So, yeah,
Oh, yes. Come back and talk about that when you
yes, I
do,
would
because a
love
lot of
to.
my audience has that. And I think their lifestyles create more, unless they play a sport, a more of a sedentary lifestyle because school's so intense. It's
So
so
it's
different.
also intense for them at this age.
It's so
It's a lot.
different. It's so much more. It's
Too much.
so,
It is. It's so much more.
oh, are you going to create like a video series and stuff?
No, it's a little different, but you'll see. But
Okay, you
there'll
don't
be
have to tell
supporting
it.
tools.
Come
There'll be
back. Oh
supporting
my
tools.
gosh, I'm so excited. Okay, this is so good. What didn't I ask you today that you really want to make sure my audience takes away from this conversation?
I just want to make sure that your audience understands that they have the power and nothing needs to be a significant, massive change to make and create change in their life. So if you're sitting at home and you're saying, well, that's easy for her to say, and you compare yourself to me or what I've
Right.
done or where
You've
I'm
been a
at or where I
dancer. Of
started,
course you can. Yeah.
correct. Right. I
Yeah.
think that you
No.
have to, I always say this to my clients. I say, you have to look in the mirror and you have to be honest with your effort. And I say this with my
Mm.
daughters, when something gets hard, like this math problem, I couldn't do it. I'm like, well, let's be honest with your effort. Did you give it a go?
Yeah.
Like, or are you coming up with your excuses before you've even tried? And so I would
Yeah.
say be honest with your effort. And if you really, and I say this, when I wrote this book, I'm like, I'm talking to my best friend too. A couple of my best friends were part of this whole process and was part of the research for the book and everything that I did. And it's like I'm sitting down having a glass of wine with your best friend, and you're like, girl, we're gonna have some honest talk now. Okay? And you know that it's a good friend when they have honest conversation with you. They don't fluff and they don't just
Yes.
go, yeah, yeah, you're right. But they're like, let's
I'm going to
talk about it.
challenge you a little here.
A little
Yeah.
bit. Like, I know you're worth more. I know you can do more. And I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. And I don't think you're doing enough to make change. And so I'd say to the listeners, if you want to see change in your life, something's got to change and it's going to be you. The world will not change for you. You have to take action, and it doesn't have to be a big action. It doesn't have to be an overhaul. It just has to be one small move at a time that will add up over time, and you will see with consistency and patience, it will be a game changer.
And that'll be your mosaic.
That's exactly it. Done.
It's so cool. I loved connecting with you. Where
You
can people
too.
find your book?
Yes.
Online?
Yes,
Bodhi? Like,
it's
give us
on.
all the
Yeah,
handles.
yeah. So it's on online, it's smallmovesbiglife.com. And then from there we have all the links to the retailers, Barnes and Noble, Amazon, of course, and also on
Yes.
smallmovesbiglife.com. You'll see all the information. So once you purchase the book, you can submit your email and I or my daughter, who I've now recruited, she's my assistant. She's
I love
answering all
it.
my emails.
I love this.
And she's
Perfect.
responding with all of the emails to get access to the Moves library. So you can start working out as soon as you buy the book. The book comes out October 14th, but if you purchase pre-order, you get access to the Moves right now.
Oh my God, this is so good. People are going to, I'm telling you, my audience is all going to be like, where can I work out with you?
Oh, I
So
hope so.
is it going to be through this? This is the
Yeah,
best way.
yeah,
Okay. And as they know, so on your show notes page, ladies, will be the links that Andrea just mentioned. Go follow her and I'll have your social media
yes,
handles.
perfect.
I've loved this
You
conversation. You are such
too.
a beautiful
I
soul.
wish you lived closer to me. We'd be hanging out.
Oh my God, I would love it. Come to San Diego. Yes, come to San Diego and let's do like an
And I am
in-person
going to
thing.
send you a link right now. So, what email is the
I
email
can
that
be your test case because if
I
I
just want you
show
to do
up,
it.
I
I
do
want you to
just
do
want to
it.
do it. I'm going to send you that when
Okay,
we
shoot me
log
the
up.
best email
I
after this,
will.
and I will send you the link to access the workouts.
I'm doing it. I'm ready. My body's
And
like,
your daughter might
please.
love it too.
Oh, we can do it together. I would love that
Yeah,
because 10 minutes, because
10 minutes.
10 minutes. This is why.
Yep.
Ladies, in this book, and you can hold up a copy because I don't have one if you want. I wish I did. It's so pretty, the cover, if you can
Wait, I
even
have
read
to
it.
show you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
This is the one my
There's
daughter bedazzled for me.
Oh, that's so cute. There's 7 daily habits. They're all very accessible.
There we go.
I loved reading this book, and everything is so doable, which is like, it was such a pleasure, like I said, to read it. I was looking forward to the next step. So everyone should go pick up a copy, and there will be the link to buy the book. But yeah, let's see the cover.
Thank you so
Bedazzled
much.
cover, the bedazzled.
The
Oh, that's
bedazzled
so
cover.
pretty. I
She
love it.
surprised me. It was so
Oh,
sweet. The
that's
day we
so
got him, she was in her room,
cute.
wouldn't let me come in her room, and then she came down and showed me.
Oh, that's the
Yeah,
best. I love it. And I've loved
the
connecting with you.
mosaic.
The
You
mosaic.
as
Oh
well.
my God, the
I know. I was
mosaic.
just thinking that. That is
I know. I know.
a
This
lot of
is so
goosebump
good.
moments on
I
this
know.
one.
Totally.
Oh,
Totally.
I
This
love
is
it. Thank you so much.
amazing.
I appreciate the support so deeply. Thank you.
Thanks for being here.